time to put your phones on silent, on extra silent actually, and if you're cheeky enough, put it on record this next session, as if you're not going to get it anyway as part of the 12-month program. However, if Zero to Hero had an image, it would be our next speaker. A Sunshine Coast resident, but still a Victorian at heart. The locals haven't just warmed to him, they sing his prayers up there. He's selling everything, they say. The truth is, he hadn't even started. Never sold a home. And yet the locals were saying he's selling everything. And he'll tell you how he did that. He's a master at script and dialogue, and with a double degree in the pause. Did you see how I worked that one in? I think I paused long enough there. He'll win you over before you've had time to even realise what's just happened. Give him a warm welcome to the stage, Mr. Joel Hood.
We're working? No Elaine dance tonight. Okay, so hang on. So right, left, we're going to give it a go. Alrighty, how are we all? Lunch was good? I didn't eat much. I was pretty nervous. So when Manos rang me, he goes, yeah, I'm going to get you up on stage with your great mate Adrian Calcedo. Going to do it together. I said, yeah, no problems. Adrian emailed, said, I can't make it. I'm in Port Douglas. I'm like, ugh, I'm going in solo. Before I get started, I do just want to say a big thank you to everyone to investing your time and money. We've had a lot of people, I didn't realise how many had actually flown. I just thought it'd be a lot of local Melburnians. And also the Black Salt team, agency, you've done an amazing job. I felt like a bit of a superstar in my W room, sending photos to my wife of my dinner and my wine last night. I'm like, my goodness, what a life I'm living. Little did she know, I'm just a real estate agent. So today I'm all about content. I want you to get your workbooks out. I want you to take notes. There'll be some things you've heard a million times before, it won't be of interest to you. There'll be other things you think, yep, got to put it into my business. I'll do a little bit of context about who I am and where I've come from, but very little. I really just want it to be implementation into your business. So I'm very fortunate. I've gone to a lot of conferences myself, and there's been certain people that have made major inroads into my career, and it's because they gave up their secrets. They weren't really, we all know them, but they really went into depth with their business. So if you're at the dinner tonight, I'm an open book. If you send me an email, an open book. We are exceptionally busy at the moment, so do my best to get back to you. And this morning I made sure I was up early, 5 o'clock, in the gym, ready to go to be prepped for today because we have been smashed. So to give you some context on where we've been in the last 30 days, I got back from Bali with my wife, first trip away in 10 years without the children. It was fantastic. We booked a little bit too long. I came back a little bit anxious, ready to go to work. And it was the 10th of April, and I said to the team, get on the effing phone. I said, we need appraisals. We only did 15 last month, target's 23, let's go. And we've done 59 appraisals in 30 days. The target's 23, so law of diminishing returns, Manos, we're learning about it. I'm losing business, but things are happening very quickly. So I'm with you, and I'm ready to go. Let's get into it. So today's a session for building notes, as I mentioned. Let's talk about 10 tactics for proven rapid growth. Let's talk about what they actually are. Strategically take market share, which we have done in one suburb already in pretty much 12 months. So 30 deals in that one suburb, which is number one. And we've got two others sitting third. We want to be first in all three. Overcoming speed bumps on the way to 1 million GCI. So I'll talk about a few things that have popped up that I've learnt. And if I finish early, question and answer session, as I said, open book, but we'll hopefully run right on time. So getting started, let's talk about numbers. So my background, I listed and sold property on the Mornington Peninsula. After 10 years of plumbing, I joined my auntie and uncle for 12 months, and I saw a person in my marketplace, Jared Carman, who was absolutely killing it. He was very infectious. He was really positive, getting great results, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I reached out to him. I thanked my auntie and uncle for my introduction to the industry, but he was my person. And in my first year, you can see we've got 372K. We jumped quickly. I actually thought we hit the ton that year, but that's disappointing. We must have had a deal that fell over. Must have been Adrian's. Then obviously we went 135, we went 1278. And then the last couple of years, I think financial year best we did was 1865. But to give some context, 18, 19, we were doing over 100 deals a year to get those numbers. I love listing and selling in Queensland. The columns are fantastic, the sales prices are fantastic, it's pretty much half the work. We're keen to get back to those sorts of volume. So I guess what made me leave a auto business, I mean, it was printing money, and we had worked so hard to build, We'd worked so hard to build a strong reputation for Joel Hood property on the Mornington Peninsula. I worked with people I absolutely loved. It was actually really difficult to leave my clients. They became friends, and it was just the phone was ringing. So why go? We had a diagnosis of my youngest daughter on the right-hand side, and we knew that we had a very short period of time with her, and Queensland was going to give her more time. Sorry. So we thought, you know what, there's no point. My accountant said to me, you know, you could work 5 more years, Joel. You're set for life. Buy a couple of properties a year and you're good to go. And I said, well, there's no point in doing that if I'm working my butt off and I, semi-retire and my child's not there. So let's go now, let's do it. I think people sort of say to me, where does the motivation come from to go again? And I think when you live with someone like Maeve, she gets up in the morning, and don't feel sorry for me, don't feel sorry for her, because she's the happiest kid on earth. She gets out, unfortunately her feet are turned in, she can't walk without splints, but she makes it happen. She sort of gets around the house, so that doesn't bother her. And she can't speak, but she knows what's going on and she can sign. And she can't eat orally, we have to peg feed her, but they told her she wouldn't be here by the age of 8, and she had her 8th birthday in February, and she's killing it. So I would recommend to you, get some perspective for yourself. It's really difficult for someone to say that unless you're going through something yourself. But for me, I guess she's a daily reminder that I don't have an excuse. Like, you come up on stage, I'm a little bit nervous, but it's like, bloody hell. She's walking around the side of her feet, she's going to school each day, she's catching the bus each day, she absolutely loves it. Life's a challenge, but she doesn't see it that way. So I think if you can find something, Kristen spoke about meditation, just really to get yourself in a mindset, and she does that for me every single day. So new beginnings. I needed a break. We'd run really hard for 7 years, and I wanted my weekends back, and I wanted to get my girls settled. And everyone said to me, it's in your blood, Joel, this won't last long, but I really enjoyed the two years, 18 months, 2 years working with corporate and the Queensland team. It gave me an opportunity to study all the tech options that had popped up during COVID, because they didn't sell during that time, and also the businesses that had some struggles at the beginning and those that did well. I needed to get back in. I had clients calling, buyers and sellers, and I really wanted to work with them again. It's just what my passion is. I love working with agents, but that was really what I wanted to do, is put deals together. So we went for it, August 1st. Deliberately waited for the market to slow. January, Feb, March was still okay, and if you recall, the federal election happened in May, and then it really started to slow down, and for me that was the perfect time to enter, because I knew how to put deals together. Honest conversations with sellers, campaigns that would get deals done in 30 days, expressions of interest, auction, sell by set dates, that sort of thing. So cold start, so you understand, and this is not a boasting exercise, this is for anyone that's doing it themselves and kind of goes, okay, well, can it be done? These are 2 different markets, they have 2 different bits of legislation, contracts are different, solicitors drive me crazy in Queensland. There's a lot of differences. A lot, but ultimately we're listing and selling property. So cold start, no family experience in the area, no shop front or previous sales. We've got a shop now, but we didn't then. I did have the knowledge of previous successes and failures, and we were all in from day one. I walked and walked and walked and walked until I got my first listing on day 8, and that was against the guy that I've taken market share from. He pissed me off, and I went for it. So this is real case results. This is our 6 quarters that we've been working in Queensland. So Q1 was obviously, so it's happened fairly quickly. I'll talk you through it. So for me, it was really just, when you are at Q1 and you've got no business, you've got all the time in the world to prospect, don't you? So in essence, there's nothing holding you back from basically prospect and list and sell all day. Then you'll see a little blips kick in, and that's where all of a sudden we had some listings and I didn't have the opportunity to prospect as long, but I never had any pipeline. So I was very much that catch and kill mentality we spoke about before. The database started to kick in. I started to put on a couple team members, and we had a ripping last quarter, but I can already see it. We'll have a blip this quarter, and then we'll probably have a slight improvement, and we are absolutely going to explode by the end of this year. You can actually just feel what's going to happen. And I'll speak about it, the team. So 2.0, I went, okay, what are the 10 things I'm going to put in place to ensure that we have a rapid growth strategy? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 things. So what I learned in Victoria was saturate the marketplace, have your face everywhere. Jared Carmen, obviously we've spoken about your branding all day today about making sure that you're present. My sister, who's a doctor, says, why do bloody real estate agents put their face on everything? And I said, because unless you get the phone call, you don't get the business. So it's very much, it shouldn't be egotistical, but we spoke about, standing behind your brand. Brand, Joelhood, property, and the colours and whatnot that go with it stand for certain things for us. And so I'm happy to put it out in the marketplace. Had to have a very difficult call, which is going to cost me a bit of money at lunchtime, but it's the right thing to do by the client. So that's what you always do. So I'm very much into farm areas. So let's talk about those. 1,500 homes, mass saturation. You'll see between 5, 6, 7% turnover. Brisbane probably around 4, parts of Melbourne parts 4, but I see most between 5 and 7%. So there's plenty of listings in that space. We're going to supercharge it. We're going to go 3 farm areas, 3 different suburbs. We're going to sample it and see where the opportunity is. One suburb ballistic, the other 2 a little bit more difficult. Better competitors, more opportunity in the other one. Database, we purchase data from the start. If I've got no one to call, I may as well buy it. So you can purchase data. I personally use WeCall. They were very good. I've worked with K2X for cold calling, WeCall, Conic in Victoria, real estate lead generations. I don't get paid for saying it, but I found their reporting was very good, and I found that I said to them, I do not want you pressing for appraisals that people don't want me in. Deliver the message. Joel Property Way is very much information-based, happy to help out. And we were getting quite a few call-ins. I was quite surprised by how successful it was. Oops, sorry, done it again. But personally, I would recommend speaking to them if you're looking at trying to break into a particular area. They'll get between 5 and 10% data for that suburb, and then they'll clean it, and then you can call it. If you want to hammer it, you could do 9 hours a week. I personally pulled right back and went, okay, let's do 3 hours, and that'll get me through the next 6 to 12 months. You can budget these things to work out what are you prepared to actually spend. I wasn't going to hold back. I'd come in with a decent financial situation. That previous graph of slow growth was when I learned how to save money, thanks to Manos and the team. And I thought, okay, I'm going to throw it in this time. Let's just try and supercharge it from 5, 6, 7 years down to 1 or 2, and it's happened. So they do my cold calling. I've just stopped off the basis of that last comment of the appraisal numbers. I've just said to them, listen, we'll pause it for the moment. I've paid a team now to start doing things for us. Social media presence, I do not look at it. So my wife does all of it. So sorry if I haven't returned a message or haven't seen one of your posts. I find it a big distraction personally, but you absolutely have to be present, and she's much better with that stuff. I'm terrible. I'm good on the phone, I'm good with people, I'm not good with that stuff. So we have to be there, but she does it. Haven't really boosted or done campaigns, in all honesty. Referrals, it's happened very quickly, and that was the idea of trying to build relationships with people in the marketplace very quickly. Also things like the netball club. I coach the girls on a Thursday night. I'm there with my polo and my hat and have a bit of fun, but I'm there for like 3-4 hours, and I've paid for the billboard basically out the front as well as the netball courts, and I do sponsor them too. Email marketing, I use ActivePipe. I'm not using it well enough. We're going to get better, but I do a monthly video for 60 seconds that I pay a professional $400 to come, and we'll do a shoot for a property. We meet at a park half an hour before, and I just blah, blah, blah about the market, a little bit of information. But the great thing is now that I've purchased a rent roll, it goes out to all my potential vendors, all the buyers, but it also goes out to all my landlords. Because I bought the rent roll, I don't have a relationship, but we have not lost a single rental that's sold since we bought it in September of last year. So they are coming to me like an authority. Thank you. purely because of the back of just sending out a video. If you don't feel comfortable with it, that's okay, but think of something you can send out. That's the only email marketing I currently do. Could do a lot better. Door knocking, I pushed hard at the start. I did the JC. I invited people to my first open homes in the street. I called door knocked a few people about some recent results, and then just simply got too busy. So I'll be hand on heart. I'm not doing the door knocking that I probably should, but it did work for the first few months. Video I just spoke about, we have a non-negotiable, except for yesterday, because I was here. Every property I've listed since August, September, October, and the first listing obviously came in 2022, gets a property video. I do not pay for vendor paid advertising. Every seller's marketing package is between $4,000 and $6,500 for us in our marketplace, and everybody pays for it. Realty Assist I use, but I never pay for it. And I talk about the positives of video, and here it is. Vendor says, Joel, why am I paying for you to be front row and center selling yourself? I go, guys, listen, the buyers are going to come to your open home, and they're going to feel very uncomfortable with a real estate agent. I have been in the video having a bit of fun, fairly casually dressed. I wouldn't say this is, suit and tie. And they feel really comfortable. When they get to the front door, they feel like they already know me. A lot of people say, oh, Joel, and I'm thinking, shit, grab the number, it doesn't pop up. Can I grab your name? I'm thinking, where do I know them? They've just watched the video 3 or 4 times. So if you tell a seller where the benefits are going to be, they're going to say, okay, we're more than happy to work with that. So every property, that's been a non-negotiable, and that is a massive reason why I have seen market share quickly. I'm highly confident. Print media, I personally paid for it from the beginning. We've got a booklet that goes into our marketplace. There's 3 different suburbs, $600 for 2 pages every month. I've been smart about it. I now charge my sellers for a quarter page in each and a little promo of myself. It all goes through vendor paid advertising. So billboard, same thing. Called them, wanted the one out the front of the netball courts. They were soon pulling that down because they were changing the road, and said, happy to do down the road, got a bit of a discount, but I paid $2,000 a month for a big sign, and just like Kristen said, it's been one of the best investments I've made. I figured I'll put money into things, and if I don't get a call or a text or people comment on it, then I'll pull the pin. So it's been going since day dot. I've been paying $2,000 a month since September 2022. Great investment. Pointer boards, saturated my marketplace. I paid for good quality A-frames, $160 a pop, and they started going missing, and I was getting calls from council, not supposed to be on roundabouts. What does that mean? We were ruffling the feathers of the opposition, which is fine. Pull back slightly, we're back out there now. So I think I purchased about 10 grand's worth, so it was about 50, 60, 70 boards, and we're putting out 6, 8 per property. And I was doing it for a very long time, then I had a team member do it, and now I actually outsource, pay someone $200, they come grab them on a Friday afternoon, put them out Saturday morning, then me and the team collect them in the afternoon. And finally, shopfront. So that is the final piece of the puzzle for me. I wanted to be in town. I worked in a place with a lot of the people from today, which is really cool. JC had a fortress in Mornington. It was a really cool 400 square metres of, remember that? Yep. A really good premise that, cohesively brought everyone together. But with Coolum, the marketplace wants you to be right in the heart of town. And I was working from an industrial estate. I didn't have an office, and I was fairly new. And so we decided to go in. But that was actually at the same time we were offered a rent roll, and we made that purchase. So this is probably the most important thing I'd say to any single agent that comes to me and says, I can't get a listing, or I'm not hitting my numbers. You can't sell what you haven't listed, and you can't list what you haven't appraised. Appraisal's the number 1 KPI. That's it. I don't care if you make 200 calls and you make 50 and you get 5 appraisals and you get 5 appraisals, that's all that matters. If you had on your call sheet a certain amount of calls, door knocks, letterbox drops, whatever it is, I don't care. Different marketplaces will respond to different things. Different people are going to connect better with people. Some people might have to spend 8 hours to get the result of another person in 1 hour. It's all about the appraisal. And if you get to the effort of getting that appraisal, a 10 out of 10 pre-list call is absolutely critical. So simple questions that you ask, and it needs to come from in here. So recite it to the point you don't have to read. And you are speaking to the person in a way that you're just basically ticking together, why have they called me? Where are they going? What would motivate them to sell? What price are they wanting? Is there any work to be done on the house? I want everything before I get there. None of this text. It's when's there a chance to have a conversation with you? I just need a little bit more information, so I bring the right content to our catch-up. I don't want to waste your time, but also mine. So this is my number. It's all I care about. End of the month, day 20, we're sitting on 10. I am hammering the phones. I'm pushing the team. We're all going hard. If I'm on 20, I'm going to enjoy the last 10 days of the month. Going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to relax a little bit. But that's all I focus on. It's all I've focused on since, I think Manos probably told us in 2015, 16, whatnot, to figure out your number. Once I knew my numbers, as he said, it sets you free. I don't stress at night. Some of my hair has obviously fallen out. That's not work. Staff and children. But that's... probably. So here, look for a reason to sell on the phone and lounge room. So there's no point in coming back from your appraisal and they said, oh, geez, I got along really well with that seller. I'm sure they're going to call. Find a compelling reason that they called you in the first place. They are sitting with you for a reason. So just prod and pry. My number one line is, guys, I know you're not selling now, but if you were to sell, where would you go? Make them think. I say it in our role play session every single week with JC. That's all you have to say. That unlocks the key, the door. And then they go, oh, Joel, I haven't even really thought about it. Go deeper. Go, okay, out of curiosity, would you stay in the area? Oh yeah, we definitely would have to stay in the area. Kids here and all the rest of it. Okay, click, click, click. Something a little bit bigger, something a little bit smaller. Oh, we'll eventually have to go to something smaller. When do you think that might happen? Oh, be at least a few years. How come? I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. If you could move now and put $500,000 in your bank and have a better life, maybe retire sooner, would you consider it? Oh yeah, I guess I would. You have to push the client in the direction that they need to go. If you're not getting the response, if you know it's not the right move, don't do it. But if you can see that you've got a 70-year-old couple going up and down the stairs, struggling, it's your job to press, because their concern is the move is difficult. It's going to be costly, it's going to be stressful, where am I going to go? That's your job. Your job's not to wait for them to call you and say, hey, we're ready to go to market, we've picked you. Your job is to say, how can I get you from A to B? And then get good with that dialogue. If you're not on role play with us on Tuesdays and you have the opportunity, you really should be. You've got to put yourself in the deep end. JC threw me into a bloody appraisal at his mum's house in front of the whole team with Aaron Sansoni. God, it wasn't easy, but over and over again we did it. And now, I say good luck to the competition. But that's where you get confidence though. You get confidence when you know that you can do your job well. How do you get in the door straight away? That's obviously what we want to know. Buy clean data, outsource cold calling of that data, saturate the letterbox drop. I do fortnightly, so I do 4,500 homes, 1,500 homes in 3 different areas every fortnight. And then for Justices Just Solds, we do 200. And if we don't have enough business coming in, we're sending out more buyer letters, we're sending out more price drive letters. I guess what I would say with the drops, because that is my number one strategy to get business, you absolutely must be consistent in your messaging. You must be consistent on brand, the paper you use, the color you put on, the font that you're using, and you also have to stick with it for 12 months. So everything I put on there, I said, this is going to cost me X, 50 grand for 12 months, I'm doing it. I'm not going to stop at 3 months, 4 months, I'm going the whole hog. I will just say on that, so with drops, so I pay a dropper to do each suburb. So I don't walk, my team don't walk. They will walk if we have the just listers and just solds that are being overflowed because we've done 10 deals in a month and we've got another 2,000 drops to get out. I pay them well. I pay them 25 cents a drop each. And so I do it in a cash card that I put through as, gifts and referrals and whatnot. Don't tell ATO, not on camera, am I? But these are women that have had children recently that live in the suburb. Now, you probably look and go, 25 cents a drop, geez, that's starting to add up. I only pay my guy 6, but it goes in, 6 cents. It goes in with a bunch of other stuff, or they last a month and then you've got to find somebody new. My guys have been going for close to 12 months, one longer. I'm also selling 2 of their properties and they're referring me business. So think about who you are going with and what you're paying them, because it'll actually generate more business for you. The drop schedule, you should be organising 12 months in advance. So what's your 12-month program? So if there's obviously every fortnight, it's 26. So 26 drops, what am I putting out there? For me, it's information and then asking for the business. Information, asking for the business. It's not just appraisal. It's this is what's sold in your area. I don't say it's me. I'm not one of those people that says this is my sale. This is all the sales in your area with a bit of detail. Next one, would you like an appraisal? Price drive letter. Next one will be information based upon something topical that's happening in the area. To be honest, you need to sit down and do them, because if you try and think like I am organically right now, it's like, geez, what do I say? But if you invest a little bit of time and you do 26, it's actually not that difficult. And then it's set for the year. I give it to my PA, and she runs all of it with the dropper, the printer. She handles all of it. Just ask me for money when she needs it. Build confident, so perpetual training. Okay, so this is a really big one that most agents obviously try to ignore. And I was fortunate, I've had people that have made me do things, and it's benefited me greatly. And so I guess I'd say to you, you need to make the effort, because for me, I genuinely believe the second time round has not just been the strategies that I've implemented, it's because I've been able to execute. So I came into my marketplace knowing how to get the signature, how to get the deals done. So it will build confidence, not arrogance. Remember saying that to Adrian Calcedo? Got to have confidence, not arrogance. He was right on the border. But you will feel so much more comfortable in the lounge room, and the vendor will feel it. You'll say to them, guys, I am the person for you. This is why. And they'll go, that's not a line. That's not a, I can feel that. Yes, you are. Let's do this. That was my first listing. I said, guys, I know this agent is number 1 in your area, and I have no sales, and their shop is 100 meters from you, and you bought off them 12 months ago, and you were really happy with them, but I'm going to do better. And they signed. So, not the first time, but they signed. Role-playing dialogue, obviously, just spoke about. Market knowledge obsession. You've got to know. It drives me insane with my team. I'm like, guys, realestate.com and domain, send out alerts. Study it. So I love working with people, but prior to real estate, I didn't realize I was quite obsessed with real estate. My wife has now told me how obsessed I was. I actually didn't realize. But I want to know everything. I want to know the sales of the suburb. How long is the agent, who had the listing? How long have they had it? Did they price reduce it? Because I sit in the lounge room and they say, oh, such and such said X amount. Okay, no, understand. Great agent. My only concern is the last 3 price reductions that they've had. Have you noticed 7 Hilltop Rise, 8 Hilltop Rise, and 254 Centenary Heights Road all started 90 days ago at X, and now they're here? My concern is the strategy will be the same for you. Would you like to discuss starting correctly? But you have to know that on the spot. So for me, if you're in line, great way to kill time instead of getting frustrated waiting for your coffee or the post office. Realestate.com, oldest to newest. And just work your way through the list and go, okay, who's sitting on stock that's been on for some time? That's a lead generation strategy to try and pick up more business. It's also a way of working out that certain agents might promise a price to get the business and they're just simply not selling. And tell the client to do that. Hey, have you ever noticed, did you jump on and scroll back? They've actually got a fair bit that's been on for a while. How long do you want to be on the market for? Politely. Review of KPIs. Quarterly is my number, so obviously monthly for appraisals, but you really should be looking into your appraisal list ratio, your appraisals, your listings, and your sales, the sources of them. Where did they come from? If I asked you now and said, whereabouts have your listings come from, and you don't know, that's where you need to be putting your money, because that's what the marketplace is connecting with. So if everyone says, I saw you on the billboard, great, throwing in the billboard. CRM and tech stack knowledge, so knowing what you're using. I don't use a whole heap. CRM, ActivePipe. What else do I use? CoreLogic. I genuinely don't use a great deal. I could probably be a lot better. Johnny and the team, he likes to use a lot more, but it's knowing how to use the systems if you're going to actually invest the money into them. You become what you consume. To me, that's a really, really big one. So when I talk about training and you're listening to podcasts, you're going to become the people that you listen to. So if I don't watch the news, very, very rarely, I sometimes need to know, okay, is there going to be some negative spiel about interest rates? I probably should jump on for 5 minutes or so and listen to Stefanovic bark on a bit. But for me, it's more a case of going, okay, what do I want to become? who do I want to become? And I listen to them. So all the great agents, 10 years ago and still now, Phil Harris, Tom Hector, Matt Steinwade, just over and over and over again, I just listened to their stuff. And so now I'm saying all these things as if they're mine, but they were probably theirs. So if you've got 10, 20 minutes in the car, make sure you've got consistent podcasts going. Hire before you need to. So this, I would say, is a real strength of mine, is understanding people and instincts around quality people, just great people that you want to be around, and their longevity. Why are they doing it? What are their goals? Will they be with me in 6 or 12 months' time? Hire before you need to. Maria's said that a million times over. Never let your service levels drop as you grow. So for me, it's killing me that I'm losing listings because I cannot follow up the people I've appraised in the last 30 days. But we'll level back out again. So I've got 4 property managers that we inherited with the purchase of the rent roll, and the rest are organically grown sales team members. And they're all, funnily enough, I guess a similar age to a degree. Caitlin's a little bit younger. They pretty much all have families. I give a lot of flexibility. Some are Simone's 3 days a week. Some have got to do school drop-off, school pickup. But they're brilliant people that work hard, and I pay them well. Here we go. This is why I feel like I've had a really good run with team members since 2014, 2015. Clear job roles. Johnny's going to kill me because him and Jade are probably going to get their job roles right at the moment since the hire, but I'm very clear in terms of what are the expectations of them. Are they a buyer manager? How many buyers they need to speak to? Obviously, how many properties are they taking people through? How many sales are we doing a month? Likewise, okay, well, are you then going to be generating appraisals for me? How many listings do you need to get per month? Weekly one-on-one. So I check in with all my team on a Friday afternoon. I rarely miss it. It comes up every now and again. But we sit down and we discuss for 15 minutes, personally, how are they going? How's life? Is there a problem? Any issues at home? What are their goals? Are you getting closer to it? Why don't you speak to your broker? Just really give them a nudge. Give them a bit of a push to do things. But also on the business. And because we've hired quickly, of course, things are going to pop up. And that's my opportunity to make sure we get everyone back on the same page. And it will also be someone like Caitlin, who's in my office, who sees everything and just gives me a bit of an understanding, okay, this person needs a bit of a pat on the back or a bit of a nudge. So really, if you're seeing staff turnover, it's because you need to invest more time with them. And it's really 15 minutes. Oh, geez, okay. I pay bonus structures for everyone. So even my administration staff, because I want them to feel the win of every single sale. So I gear it on a percentage over a quarterly target. So 150K GCI is my quarterly costs, including personal expenses, and then each team member gets a percentage over that. We hit that last quarter, month 1. So every deal, 2 and 3 months in, second and third month of the quarter, they're pumping their fist with every deal we do. It also, if they're going to go commission, it gives them a taste of what to expect. So I want them to prepare. Lunches and healthy snacks, pay about $200 a week, put everyone's lunches into the kitchen. Sometimes doesn't last the whole week, depending on how hungry some of the guys are. But always healthy snacks, bananas, apples, some muesli bars and whatnot. Quarterly dinners and lunches, take out the team for quarterly dinners. Take their partners with them. So if they're working extra hours and the partners are going, geez, why their bloody jobs, ruining the family life and whatnot, get them in. Get them to understand what they're a part of. Pay some attention to the spouse. Clear progression plans. Where do they want to be in 1, 2, 5 years? You need to understand what their goals are. If it doesn't align with where you want to put them, have that conversation now. It's not fair that we just treat them like someone that's just obviously going to serve your agenda. Help them get from A to B to C. Accepting that may leave, but you will have bettered the industry. I actually go with that with every person. I say to a couple of people now, well, when you go, and they go, well, I'm not going anywhere. And I go, well, maybe you will. Bit of reverse psychology. But I look at someone like JC and I go, okay, he's trained some unbelievable agents in the Mornington Peninsula and they're now his competition. And it might sting a little bit, but I say, wow, because I've gone to a marketplace which I don't think has the same caliber or quality of agent. And so kudos to you, mate, because you've assisted them and their families and their clients. So that's the mentality you have to have with putting on team members. This is what we felt. Appraisals going from inbound calls to outstrip outbound calls. It's getting busy. You've got to have the team in place for when that happens. We've now at a fork in the road where lead generation has turned into lead management, very much what Manos said before. So looking back, these are the things that I think I just really wanted to press upon you in regards to the case study that I realistically undertook. Bit of fun. The personal and financial commitment required. So sometimes someone will get up on stage and I did this and I did that, and you're going, yeah, but did you sell mum and dad properties? Was it a developer that gave you 50 listings? How much did it really cost you? How hard did you actually work? Round 2, I did not want to kill myself. I told my wife I need to do 6 days a week for 18 months or 2 years to get this back on track, but here's what it means for us in the long run. She's with me. Yep, had that conversation from the beginning. I am not doing much after hours. People in Queensland do not want me in the lounge room past 5:30. So it's great. I got told by a few people, I do my appraisals during the day. I'm like, don't they work? They said, no, they don't. Or they work from home. It's a very long lunch break. So I spent 50K, and within 6 months we were profitable, and clearly it's become very profitable very quickly. So if you don't have the funds to be able to put in the money, you kind of have to do this a little bit slower. If obviously you can, why not fast track it? I'm now taking half-day Thursdays, so basically 5.5 days a week. And that's what I got to in Vic. My car clean, my house clean, dry cleaning. I was 5 days at gym each morning, or PT, in the middle of the day. So wanting to get back to a structure like that was really healthy, and 12 weeks holidays a year was bloody fantastic. The comments from opposition agents, public, and no junk mail complaints. I do drop no junk mail and no advertising material. I don't drop Australia Post only and ones with like 2 stickers or they've handwritten them. It's very clear they don't want to hear from you. I've had some shit thrown at me. I've probably had 20 complaints, I would say, maybe 25 in the 18 or so months. Pick up the phone and call them. I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Won't happen again. Do you mind me asking where you are? I'm not giving you my address. Just the street, because obviously my distributors might have made a bit of a mistake. I can let you know. I can let them know not to drop again. And they're thinking, I saw you walk past and put it in the letterbox, Joel. But for me, it was more just a case of going, okay, own it. They'll generally give you the address. If they gave me the street, I tell the person not to do the junk mail on that street. So sometimes you could take a little bit of a hit. Set your path and stay in your lane. Intrinsically focused, not extrinsically focused. Phil Harris said this 2015. Stay with me ever since. I care about what I'm doing. I know I'm doing the right thing by the client. When I say myself, it's obviously the team. And I'm not going to get caught up on somebody else's great listings or sales. I'll pat them on the back. I've got some competitors that I believe are doing a brilliant job in the marketplace, and I'm stoked for them, but I'm focused on what our path is. Be prepared to say no. This was a massive one for me. So I had the chance to restart a new brand. What do I want the listings to look like? If you want to do mid-range, you've got to put mid-range properties up. Low-end, high-end, units, million-dollar mansions. You have to think about what you're saying to the marketplace. Realestate.com puts us out there as a billboard. Joel sells quality stock. Quality properties get attracted to that. It's very clear if I look at my marketplace, there's particular agents that sell absolute dumps, and they get dumps brought to them, and I'm happy for them to keep taking the dumps. And also remember the 80-20 rule. So 20% of people, if you sit in the lounge room and you say, this vendor is going to be a nightmare, don't take the business unless you absolutely have to, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to take up all of your time, and it's going to stop you from obviously listing the next property. Phil said, find your tribe. Work with the people that resonate with you. If they're not good people in your heart, don't work with them. Win the war, don't sweat the battles. So have a vision of what your business looks like in 5 years and keep working towards that. A lost listing along the way then seems very insignificant. I don't care about today. One bad call, lost a listing. Sue and I spoke about it. Hurts a little bit, but you've got to move on, because I'm 38 and I want to go and see where I'm going to be at 43. So focus on the war. Don't worry about the battles. You get a little win, you get a little loss, but you keep nudging forward. Relationships trump everything. So true. Good luck to agents prospecting your friends. So like Gary said, he's drinking beers all night with someone. I doubt another agent's getting that listing from the buyer in the future when they want to sell. Because he's created a connection with them so strong that they want to hang out with him again. He's become family. Taking out the top dog. I see this a lot. It's bloody hard, so be very mindful if you're going in this direction. Ego, client ownership, and lack of support burnout are the unraveling of a great agency. So once you start to get up, you start to think, we're just selling houses, let's be honest, but you think you're God's gift to real estate, and unfortunately you have an expectation you own that client. You don't. They make up their own minds as to what they do. So be mindful if you start to grow to remain as humble as possible. Opportunity plus execution equals success. So that means have a lead generation plan and then learn how to execute it. So I spoke about all where my lead gens come from, and then I've had to learn how to execute it. Take holidays. It's better to be 100% productive 40 weeks a year than 60% productive 52 weeks a year. That was me in Vic, and I'm working my way back to it. But I felt the burnout before Bali. I was exhausted. Prospect, listen, sell, face-to-face and phone calls trump SMS and social media posts. Get real or lose market share. If you think that tech is going to be a problem, it will only be a problem if you haven't created relationships. Someone wants to deal with a person to help them walk down the street. Learn how to connect with people, get empathetic and understand what they're seeking. How long have I got? 2, 3, 5? Cool. So my 10 most potent strategies for rapid growth. Buy data, ideally 1,000 contacts. If you need to go into other areas to do it, so be it from the beginning. I've just culled my potential vendors list on the plane with a screaming child next to me, headphones on. Nope, don't want to work with you. Nope, you're outside my area. No, and I started to cull it down. Because you're building data. You deal with the buyer, they buy a house off someone else, you put them in as a prospective vendor, and then they'll be your future seller. But because that starts to build, I'm whittling back down to that tribe of people I actually want to work with, like Marcus Caminello. Set up a clean database. Do not put people in if they don't have first name, last name, address, and phone number. Ideally email as well, but not always. Attach the property. Fortnightly letterbox dropping I mentioned. Outsource your cold calling. Memorable open homes. We have 2 agents at every open home. I say it in every listing presentation. How do you feel about the security of your property? How would you like your buyers to be handled? Do you want me to stand outside, or would you like me to answer questions? Maybe I could point out those positives that you mentioned to me. So I can do that, but I know a lot of the other agents in your area, they just genuinely can't. What a selling point. Have you been to our open homes? Have you noticed? Yeah. It's really upbeat. It was happening. Ignite the senses. Ask meaningful questions. You only get a minute or 2 with them before they're off to the next property. Ask them questions that ignite a response very quickly. Email marketing I spoke about. My pre-list call is brilliant. Market saturation, so obviously all those things. I tried radio, didn't work, I won't do it again. But I gave it a go. Got a deal, chucked it on for 2 months, no response. End of financial year and calendar year booklets posted. I post them out to the database, so they're all my prospective vendors. Nice, 20-odd page. They cost a fair bit, but they're A5s, and actually I don't think they're too bad. I have to ask Caitlin, she does all of that. But I post them as well, so I've got to pay $1.50 a stamp because they're a C5 envelope. But again, consistency. They're going to get that every 6 months. Oh, there's Joel again. Oh, geez, yep, there's a fair bit going on in the area. Non-negotiable monthly appraisal targets, what I just spoke about. Oh, geez, okay. That was us. How'd I do?